here.
Shut up and get off the stage.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have a big, big round of applause for our next guest, which Tabby is going to introduce right now.
The one, the only, Christopher Judge.
Yes!
I love your pants. Your pants are amazing.
Thank you. Which?
On the orange sofa. Yeah. Oh, some water.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Oh, good. Good. You know, my wife calls these my Christmas pants because this is the wrapping, but the real gift is underneath. She loves when I say that.
I don't know what to say now. Oh my gosh. How was your journey here? Have you been to Manchester before?
Many years ago. Gosh. It's probably been like 10 years. It's probably been, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I was still in my 40s last night.
Baby, having a good day? Met lots of fans out there?
Yes, lovely. It's always amazing. You know, I've been around for a long time, and it's always amazing coming to meet you. And again, I would like to reiterate my thanks for the support for many years. Thank you very much.
Have we got any God of War fans out there?
Boy.
So taking it back, I want to know, what was your first job? First job.
My very first pay.
Doesn't have to be acting, it could just be, I don't know.
Oh God! Well, then my first job, I pumped gas when I was, I think, 12 or 13. Yeah.
Did you know back then you wanted to be an actor?
Absolutely, absolutely. I watched a movie called Sounder, and when I saw that movie, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
A confession, I've not seen that movie. Anyone seen The Sounder?
Well, it's a movie from the very early 70s, so probably a lot of you weren't alive then, so.
I mean, how was the process of then getting into acting? Did your family support you? Did they send you to a theatre school? Did you have to do it off your own back?
Well, I was an athlete, so I used that to get a college scholarship, and I majored in telecommunication and film. But I knew that entertainment was not a certainty. So as a backup, when I first went to college, I was a pre-med major. So because in my mind, if acting didn't work out, I could be a brain surgeon. So
And an athlete.
yeah, I don't know what my thinking was, but yeah. And then I was a psychology major. I actually ended up getting my minor in psychology, and then I wasted 6 months being a philosophy major, which there's actually an answer to if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Oh, you're waiting for the answer. The actual answer is no, because for there to be sound, there has to be a receiver for the vibrations. So that is the actual answer. That was worth 6 months of being a philosophy major. I learned the answer to that question.
We're learning something new every day. So, okay, so the process, what was the first acting gig that you managed to grab then?
I did a recruiting film for the University of Oregon. That was my kind of first on-camera thing. And then I modeled for Nike for a number of years. Then I was a stripper for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, woo.
You're Benedict's tip jar.
Actually, I guess the current term is exotic dancer, but back then it was just a plain stripper. But that's actually kind of how I got with Nike. some of the executives from Nike were having a bachelorette party and saw me, and I started modeling for them. And then they asked me, had I ever done any voiceovers? And I didn't know what a voiceover was. So they sent me to the recording studio, and with no experience, I got the voiceover for the Air Revolution, a Nike campaign from back in the 80s. And it went like, the Air Revolution by Nike. Gravity is just a game. And that was kind of my first my first voiceover. That was back in the mid 80s.
So
Yes,
you did voiceover.
the mid 80s.
It's crazy. I mean, voiceover. Did you ever think that that would be something that you would be doing, or like, was the passion behind the acting, like the other aspects of the industry? Did you like that, or did you try to stay away from that?
Well, I didn't even know there was money to be made just talking. So that whole part of it, I was like, wow, this is easy. And then I didn't get another voiceover role for 15 years. So it was I kind of just fell into it, you know. But still, kind of my main focus was always television and film. But, you know, through the ups and downs of, you know, you kind of just take work to work, and you just never know when your fortunes will change. Like the job I had right before Stargate, I played a character called Abdoman, and I was the spokesperson for like an ab machine. But my abs were fantastic. So you just kind of never know what is right around the corner, you know?
So I want to talk a bit about motion capture, because God of War, you did some motion capture as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Can you tell us about the process with that?
Yeah,
Was that the first time you did it?
It was kind of daunting. In TV and film, there's a lot of coverage, which is a lot of different angles that any specific scene is shot in. You have a wide shot that kind of shows everything and the environment you're in, and then you do two shots, and then you do close-ups. So a lot of the time, you don't have to go 100%. So there's lots of time to rest. There's lots of time to kind of not be 100% engaged. Well, in motion capture, there's 100 cameras over you. There's a camera in your face, and there's a cameraman following you, or me, not you. And so he followed my every movement, so there was no downtime. There was no time to just like half-ass a take. You were always on, and it was always 100%. So physically, it was so much more demanding than film and television. And then you have that lovely skin-tight suit that you're wearing that adds to the discomfort of everything. But it definitely took a while to adjust to the different physical demand of it.
How about now? Are you working on anything that you can tell us?
That I can tell you?
That you can tell us. Or hint at?
Hint at. Well, if any of you are
It's something.
any of you are Stargate fans, please either follow StargateCommand.com or follow me at I am Chris Judge. And there will be in the very near future an announcement which may make you happy.
Nice. Make sure you follow him on Twitter as well. I'm going to check it to the crowd. Have we got any fan questions? Yes. Right. I've got to run around now. Okay, at the front.
I'm asking this on behalf of my dad because he's a big Stargate fan. I am as well, but I just rang him before and he said, you know, in terms of your announcement, you know, with Stargate, is there plans for original cast members to come back into it?
What?
You know, if like any original cast members.
What are you talking about?
Next question. question?
I really can't go into the specifics of it. Shit. There's cool shit coming.
Good answer.
Hi.
Hi.
You mentioned being both an athlete and a stripper. Does that mean you know what an extended butterfly is?
Oh. I was an athletic stripper. An extended butterfly. Is that what we're calling it now?
Come on, it's a pole move. Come on.
Oh, no.
You never worked the pole.
I didn't work the pole. I worked with a pole. My mom's so proud right now.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, over all your roles and voice acting, what was your favorite line to say?
Oh gosh. Probably either undomesticated equines could not pull me away from you, or don't be sorry, be better. I like that one. I really like that one.
I'm just going to chuck in a question if that's okay. Can you speak other languages? Like with the voice lines, do you have to often say lines in a different language, and then did you decide to learn, or have you learned in the past?
I lived in Montreal for 2 years, so I kind of learned French. I grew up in LA, so I kind of learned Spanish. I played a guy from Chulak, so I kind of learned Jaffa, which was entirely made up, by the way. In the movie, they actually used a real Egyptian dialect, but we just didn't have the time to teach everyone that obscure Egyptian dialect. So, yeah, all the stuff was like made up. I remember the Zatnyikatels, the Zats. The original, it was like 29 consonants and 2 vowels. So I went up to Jonathan Glasner, one of the executive producer, writer, creators, and I said, Jonathan, how do you pronounce this? And he said, I don't know, you're the alien. Right. So that's kind of how everything they would write stuff or just put a bunch of consonants together and say, hey, however you want to pronounce it, that's what it'll be. So
Had to remember it for the next.
yeah, and then it had to be remembered. Yeah.
This is more of a personal question.
Oh, good. I worked with a pole. No.
I've had a pretty tough start of the year, so have you ever almost died, and how?
Have I, like on set?
No.
Oh, in real life? Oh, jeez.
Time's over here.
Wow. A couple times. Once on the 405, when we went out of control, hit the center divider, and went backwards through 6 lanes of traffic without getting hit.
That's impressive.
I fell asleep when I was in college driving to Canada. I was sick, and I hadn't slept for days, so I thought it would be good to take flu medication and then drive 7 hours to Canada. So I made it 20 minutes outside of Eugene, Oregon, and fell asleep and hit another car, and it literally cut my car in half. And so I survived that one. But yeah, just kind of silly stuff like that. 4 times. 4. Wow. Then we are both lucky to be here.
2 of them blood loss. One of them at the beginning of the year.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that means we are here for a reason then.
Next question over here.
Hi. At E3, they announced that in God of War there's going to be a new game plus.
What the hell did you just say? Wait, I don't mean to be rude. Could you say that one more time?
At E3,
Oh, yes.
they announced that God of War is going to have a new game plus. Do you know when that's coming out? And do you know if there's going to be any DLC for God of War that's coming out?
That, I honestly don't know. I would imagine there's probably going to be sequels. That's just a guess, though. I don't know definitively what. Of course, I know, but I truly cannot even talk. I can't even hint.
This cosplayer over here?
Wait.
No one heard that.
I did have a really serious question, but now from hearing it, what would,
I screwed that up.
No.
I messed up your seriousness.
what would be your stripper jam? Like the perfect song of choice.
Only genuine.
Oh gosh.
You said it'd be like the God of War music.
Yeah.
Next game.
I would use the Stargate theme music now. Well, okay, just curiously, what was your serious question?
No, no, I'm joking. How long, in terms of, like, oh gosh, what am I Whoops.
They're Christmas
Well, I've
pants.
really shot my question in the face. How long?
Did you say I shot your question in the face?
Isn't getting any better.
This is taking a very strange turn.
What I wanted to ask was how long does it take to record the audio for voiceover work in general?
Oh God, it can vary. I did my last year of God of War. Probably most of it was just chasing the action. Which, have you seen the clip on the internet of Hugh Jackman fighting as Wolverine, and he's just watching the screen and making all the fight noises?
That's it.
That was probably the majority of the last year of it. And now that is tiring and no fun because you are fighting yourself. So when, like, to get the impacts of punches, you punch yourself. You punch yourself in the stomach to give the like that. When you, it's grueling, and that part of it is truly not fun. There's a joke there about playing with myself, but I will not.
We're gonna move on to the next.
There's a joke right there.
Hi, Grace.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very nice. Very, very happy to be here. I was wondering, I'm a big fan of yourself and Amanda Tapping, especially. And I loved her on Supernatural when she had a little brief stint. I was wondering if her or any of your other castmates have tried to rope you into any other TV shows that they're in, or if there are any you'd like to do, perhaps like that?
Gosh, you know, I was gonna do an episode of her show, the one... Sanctuary. Just the timing never worked out. You know, we would all of us would always like to work together, but it's just now the further we get away from, you know, it's just like kids and our own schedules, and you know, pretty much everyone's got stuff on the go, so it's just impossible to kind of coordinate anything. And just for me, I don't do guest spots anymore. I'd rather go to conventions and golf. You know, the truth of it is. So yeah, it's just become almost impossible to. If I could go on one show, it would be Game of Thrones.
Yes.
You'd be awesome on that, I'm just saying.
I would love to do Game of Thrones. If nothing else, just to be naked. With Tyrion.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm just wondering what your favourite memory of working on Stargate was, and can you please say indeed for me?
Indeed. My favorite memory is the 200th episode. It was a week where we had people who had worked on the show literally for 10 years and had never been to set. And that week, even though we pretty much did 4 or 5 episodes in the same time that it takes to do one episode, everyone came to set that week, and we were just able to like hug each other and tell each other how much we loved and appreciated all their hard work for 10 years. And it was truly a joyous week. Probably another is the last time we ever walked up the ramp. That was I'll never forget it. And probably the first time we ever saw the sets, because Michael, Amanda, and I walked on stage together, and we were just blown away. It was like the old glory years of MGM, when they had these huge practical sets, and it was a fantastic moment. You said 1, so I'm going to give you 5. And then Changeling. It was a great. My wife was in the episode. It was just a really memorable week for me. You know? So yeah, there was quite a few of them. It's hard to just boil it down to one. You know.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, brother.
Have you cleared God of War yet? Have you cleared God of War yet?
Have I cleared it?
Or do you play it?
Oh, you know, I actually watched my youngest son play it for 7 days straight. And then I said, get the F off my couch. Like my son is one of those dudes who he never fully likes anything, and he's never impressed by anything I've ever done in my career. That he was impressed with. And that one he actually said, Daddy, this is one of my favorite games of all time. It was like he was pissed at me because he liked it. He actually had to admit he liked something I did, you know. So that was like the highest compliment I could have gotten, that Cameron actually liked it. Yeah.
Hiya.
Hello.
What was it like working with Richard Dean Anderson, aka obviously the legend MacGyver?
I hated it. He's a grumpy old bastard. No, I love that cat. He is one of the smartest human beings I've ever met, and his sense of humor, the sense of humor of Stargate, was very much Rick. He knew that he couldn't play the character the way Kurt Russell had played it for any length of time. I mean, not only would it have gotten redundant and maybe boring, but it would have been boring for him too. So he injected his sense of humor into it immediately. And for Rick, the script was kind of like the expiration date on milk. It was kind of a suggestion, but if you didn't like it, well then let's do something else. So it really taught me a lot as an actor to always be listening, because you never knew what he was gonna say. So, and then just as a human being, I learned so much from him. I learned a lot from him as a man. I learned a lot from him about business. So yeah, I still love when I get to be with him.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Thank you.
I think we have time for 3 more questions. I've got one over here.
Hey Chris.
Hey.
Big fan of Stargate SG-1. Favourite episode is the time loop episode from season 4. Just wondering what your memories are of that episode, if it was as much fun as it looked like.
Yeah, Rick is a big kid. So he would never come to our trailers. we would always go to his very spacious motorhome. Like we would watch hockey over there, or whatever. So when we got that script, there was a knock at my door, and it was Rick. So Rick had never been to my trailer before, and the first thing I thought was, I'm fired. But he wanted to, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you roller skate? Can you play hockey? Can you juggle? Can you? So pretty much everything you saw in that episode was kind of just stuff that, and we liked golf. The only thing they didn't use, where there was a thing where he was making pottery, and then Teal watches him making the pottery, and then you see him like kind of telling Teal'c how to make it. Then the next cut, Teal'c is very proud of the clay pot that he made. Then the next shot is them shirtless, covered in clay. And for some reason, MGM didn't go for that one. I don't know why not. But,
Ghost.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that one.
Hi.
Hi.
What was your stripper name then?
I know this doesn't go together, but it was Apollo, the Egyptian lover. Truly. I work with a pole.
Polo.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Who was the biggest prankster that you've worked with on SG1 or any other?
Oh gosh, probably me. Well, because I wasn't burdened like the rest of the cast with having to learn lines. I mean, let's face it. Thank you, O'Neill. You are correct, Daniel Jackson. Indeed. Didn't take a lot of memorizing. So I would fill my time playing practical jokes. I would go through phases where, I would saran wrap people's toilets, which sounds funny. It's not funny at 5:30 in the morning when you get there and use the bathroom and it all splashes back on you. Putting poo in people's toilets. I mean, I'll skip that one. Then I went through a period where I would duct tape people to stuff. Terrell Rothery, I don't know if any of you have had the chance to meet her. She is wonderful. She has this great, bubbly, vibrant personality, which is fantastic, except for when it's 5 a.m. and you've just gotten done with a night of drinking. And she was just really under my skin one day, so I started duct taping her to stuff. So I duct taped her to a chair. Then later on, I duct taped her to a tree. Later, I was just duct taping her everywhere. And then, then the production got mad because it would take like half an hour to get her unduct taped.
Where's all the duct tape gone?
Yeah, I was stealing everyone's duct tape. So we, it was probably me. Yeah. So, but it was funny though. Everyone like really took it well. But when I would go to other shows, wouldn't go over so well. Like I was Simon Baker from The Mentalist. He still sends me hate letters. That's how much he hates me. So the general tomfoolery that we had on Stargate didn't really play on other, and that's one of the reasons why I just don't do guest spots anymore, because they're not fun. I will only even consider doing sci-fi and fantasy now, because that's what I find interesting to do, that's what interests me, and that's where I have fun. So I'm at a point in my career where I only have to do shit I want to do. So everything I do from now on will only be sci-fi and fantasy. That's just really what I enjoy.
That's a nice way to wrap it up.
No, one more question.
Okay, one more question, yes. Right,
Okay.
go on.
No pressure, it's got to be good though.
Hi, first of all, thank you for everything you've ever done.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Is it true that when you... Is it true when you first read the God of War script, you thought it was a film?
I did. I thought, well, because there was a stigma at that time kind of about doing video games. So I get sent this script, and I'd been approached about doing other video games, and I just turned them down. And so I'm reading this script, and I got kind of angry. So I called my agent, and I was like, why are you sending me this A-list film? Obviously, this role is straight to offer. Like, why would I waste my time putting myself on tape or going in and meeting with it? And they were like, well, it's not a film. I was like, well, is it the pilot for a TV show? There were no, it's the reboot of a video game franchise. I was like, then why are you sending it to me? And they said, because they are gonna film it. So you will not just be the voice, you will do everything. You will do the motion capture, the CGI, but everything. And they really want you in because they're fans of Stargate and they think you might have the right physicality, the right voice, the right. So I kept reading, I was like, wow, this is like not the most fantastic video game. This is one of the best scripts I've ever read. And the relationship between Kratos and Atreus was particularly attractive to me. And so going on, and it went well. They want to see me again, so now it's for Corey and some of the studio heads of Sony and Santa Monica. It went well. So I tell my agents, I think I got this. So now my agents call me and say, they want to have you back in for a chemistry test. Okay? So they had already hired Sonny, who plays Atreus. So I go in, this little 10-year-old kid, and but I have sons who were all 10. I was 10, so I knew kind of where to meet him at, and we got along really well. Call my agents. Oh, it's a done deal. Get a call back from my agents. They'd like to see you for another chemistry test. I was like, with who? It's like, well, with Sonny. And I'm thinking, this little bastard stabbed me in the back. We weren't really getting along. He was faking it. So we go back, and it's me and another guy who are there for the chemistry test. And I'm kind of looking. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this little kid. So we get along even better this time. So end up getting the role, and I'm talking to Sonny. For 4 years, he reminded me that I'm the God of War because of him. That he okayed me. And I said, well, thank you, young man, for revitalizing my career. No, he's a great kid. And the weird thing, though, he was never a kid. It was like he was just a really short actor. And he'd be like, and it would be weird coming from a 10-year-old. And then when we would tell jokes, at first it would kind of be like, oh, is Sonny around? And then it became Sonny would be in on them. And Sonny would be telling jokes. And Sonny, I'm like, wow, this kid is something else. But he really is. I mean, what a fabulous little kid. And it was never too big for him. It was never like he was shied away from the process. Because while we were doing this, you know, he did a movie, he played Jennifer Aniston's kid. Then we did a movie, he played Colin Farrell's kid, Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman's kid. So it was never that it was too big for him. The only time I ever saw him kind of be like, wow, the night that we went on sale, we did like a countdown, like a live countdown, and they showed him our emojis. So when he saw the Atreus emoji, he was like, wow, this is so cool. That was the only time that he was just like a kid.
Did you see like the final, I don't know, product with them, or did you get sent, or did you see the process as it went?
I finally saw some of this stuff about 2.5 years into it. Because honestly, when they were talking about one shot, I never really understood what it was. I kind of just trusted Corey. And believe me, everything that God of War is flows from Corey Barlog down. There's this whole saying about toxic masculinity. Corey taught me more about being a man than anyone in my life. He taught me that you can be a man that has power and not use it to keep people down or to put people in their place. You can use it as understanding and empowering people and listening to people and really truly giving people the freedom to really explore their worth and their value, and that everyone has value. There is no caste system in life. We are all valuable assets to this world. And truly, he made me reassess what being a man really is. And it's kind of changed my everything in my career, everything. I only want to do shit that matters. I only want to do, and not thinking that I have this huge calling, but just even in my interactions with people that can affect people on a day-to-day basis. Like it truly, if you're not about helping people, listening to people, or empowering people, then what the F are you doing? And I just kind of have really adopted that in my personal life, and that's truly due to Corey Barlog.
Every moment counts.
Absolutely.
So
And you're
true.
all valuable, and you all matter. And if you're around people who don't feel that way, don't be around them. Be around people that know your value, that know their value, and empower you to do and be whoever the hell you want to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, our favourite dancer with a pole, Christopher Judge.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant, thank you.